you're looking to just automatically be more confident, start with the booty. Speak from the booty. Welcome, everybody, to Social Media Tips for Neurodivergence. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you all. And Catherine, she is actually the resident psychologist here for Practical Magic for Neurodivergence. So she's going to be interviewing me today. You're going to hear from her again a little later this week because she will be posting her first Substack and sharing some unmasking tips with everyone. And that's going to be like a bi-weekly thing of unmasking missions.
That sounds good. I'll
Yeah,
get it cranking again.
sweet, sweet.
Yes. I'm excited to be here. I really feel like I need this lesson. There's so much going on with social media, and I feel like it's a potentially an avenue for neurodivergent people to have some income streams. Excited to get a page out of your book. So, do you want me to start with my first question,
Yeah.
or shall we? Okay. What do neurodivergent content creators need to know first and foremost to be successful?
Excellent question. So
Thank you.
I think that neurodivergent people need to understand, at least for most of us, that we are multidisciplinary. I think there's like this push. I mean, at least historically, there has been a push that if you're going to be a content creator, you should have some kind of a niche. And I just don't believe that we're niche people. We're not nichey, you know? So I think
Thank you so much for saying that.
absolutely.
That's the thing that stops me from starting. Okay, but I'm gonna let you talk. Okay.
Oh yeah, I get it. I get it. And you know, if
Option paralysis,
yeah,
right? Like,
instead just do all the things. Do what feels good. I think that's best anyway when you're starting on social media because you get an idea of what people want to see from you. I mean, unfortunately, the truth is you have to find a balance between what you want to create and what people want to see from you. So by just throwing it all out there, you get an idea of what sticks. But I still encourage you to do all of it anyway, even if it doesn't necessarily resonate, because the whole point of this really should be to be having fun and like to feel good. And seriously, I know that sounds a little cliche, but it's if it's not fun, there's no point. Why do it, you know?
if I hear this right, it's like be yourself, and your audience can let you know what they want to see more of from you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's another big thing. My first TikTok, well, not officially my first, but at the beginning of my TikTok journey, my page was called The Entitled Life. And I decided I was going to make a whole niche about how we get to be entitled, even if we didn't come from like wealthy backgrounds or whatever. I don't even remember what it was because I have evolved and twisted and turned so many times since then that nothing even looks like that at all. So, I would encourage you to just like start where you are and play and just see what feels good to continue doing and do that. You are not going to end up where you started. You never will.
Well, and I love that, that in psychology world, like one of the things that we sometimes work with clients is like having an appropriate level of entitlement. The word is taken on a wrong connotation. Like you're supposed to not ever be entitled. It's like, no, we are all entitled. We need to be appropriately entitled. Like
Absolutely.
a right to life and to be weird on the internet if we want to.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
it's so true.
Cackles in Bog Witch.
Exactly. Like, I just realized like that's a great example because I don't think I've done anything like Bogwitch since I did that video, but that's how I felt that day, you know? Some days I feel other ways. It's all
It
got
stuck with me. I love it. I've heard you use the phrase finding your lighthouse. And I'm curious about that. What does that mean to you and how can it help creators stay focused and consistent? Finding your lighthouse.
to find your lighthouse is to find the central theme or the central through line that is going to run through all of your content, no matter how different one video is from the next. And while I don't recommend having a niche, I totally recommend finding a lighthouse because it'll keep you
Mm.
on track. And by that, I don't mean making a specific kind of content, but I do mean if you're ever on the fence about whether you should respond to something or make a video about something, you can refer to your lighthouse to see if it matches. Like sometimes I want to make a diss track, you know what I mean? But it's like so far off from my lighthouse that I don't bother. And I think it also just it keeps you grounded in who you are to have a lighthouse. Because the internet, you might be tempted to get in on a bunch of trends or do something that's a little bit out of your character, but your lighthouse will keep you being you. And I will share my lighthouse
Mhm.
with you for reference.
Okay.
This is my latest lighthouse because this should and will change.
Hmm.
This is my lighthouse. I share not to explain or justify, but to embody what it looks like to live creatively and spiritually as a neurodivergent person. Through my
Mm.
content, I reveal what it means to return to the self before shame and to walk one's own path instead of trying to conform to roads that don't lead me home. I offer both inspiration and challenge. People may feel inspired by my self assuredness, or they may find me confronting, and both responses are part of my gift. My lighthouse is not healing anymore because it used to be healing. It's sovereignty, embodiment, and the freedom of being fully me.
Although your purpose gets to change, which helps me, right?
Yes,
You're aligned with the purpose that you are, the page you're on, at least in your
absolutely.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the heart of it. Is the heart of what you're doing should be the
Right.
same, regardless of how different one piece of content is from the next.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's your why.
It's your why. That's exactly
Okay.
right. Hmm.
That's so important. I think maybe that's why it's so hard to start for neurodivergence, because we're like, we are bottom up processors. We
Yeah.
need the foundation. We need to know why first. Otherwise, what's the point of trying to like put bricks on top of that? We
Mm.
start at the bottom and we build upwards. So,
Started from the bottom. Now we here. Sorry. Yes.
hey. Okay. All right. So then, next thing, which definitely applies to me, for someone who is not sure what their lighthouse or message is yet, what's a good way to start figuring that out?
So, two tips. The first would be to schedule some content time. And by that, I mean schedule time where you will watch content and you're going to watch it like you're going to scrutinize it. You're going to pay close
Mhm,
attention to what pulls you in, what pulls you out. What do you scroll away from quickly without even paying attention to it? And also, what videos do you watch that you wish you could respond to or like further elaborate on? That's going to give you some hints about what you want to say too.
mhm, mm,
Um, so that's one. And
mhm,
again, I actually do this all the time. I try to schedule time at least once or twice a week to spend about an hour scrolling content. Not only is it going to help me like get an idea of what the current environment, like what people are talking about right now, like what matters in the cultural zeitgeist, if you will. But
mhm,
it also helps you to understand like what is changing in trends in terms of how content is being created, not necessarily like the TikTok trends. But a good example of this is I photograph houses for a living. That's my full-time thing. And before the past year, when my clients asked me to make a real estate video, which is something I have always have been doing for the last few years, it would have to be a very polished video, almost like something you would see on HGTV. So you'd have like that swoosh sound effect when it does like a speed ramp to go to the next scene and like all these explosions and popping out the roof with a drone. That is not in anymore. What people want now is real. So if you make a video with all these polished twists and turns, the views are going to be lower. But if you make one where you're just walking through the house with your camera, like here's the house, that's going to take off. So me scrolling every couple of, a couple times a week helps me to understand what's changing in content creation so that I can like be
mhm.
abreast of that too. I might have skipped ahead a little bit there, but that's an important one to
I
know.
love that. Okay, so because AI is so slick now, we need to prove we're real by being a little bit more uglier.
That's exactly
My
it.
time has arrived. I get to be ugly.
That's one
Mm,
way. The
mm, mm.
second is the Bliss List.
Okay.
I highly, highly, highly recommend completing a Bliss List. And what this is an exhaustive list of all the things that light you up. And but I mean, they have to. If you think about something and it gives you like that warm, fuzzy feeling in your belly, this needs to go on your Bliss List. And it does not matter the category. It can be literally anything. Something that's on my Bliss List is the sound of children playing outside in the summertime. Like that just makes me feel so happy, you
Mm,
know?
mhm,
Driving down a long road by myself, listening to a perfect song, an afternoon, like feeling the breeze and hearing the breeze go through the leaves, the color blue, but specifically gray blue, vanilla scents, but like coconut vanilla, not super vanilla. It's just all the things that fill you with joy. And I actually created a bliss list so that you don't have to try to think of all these things off the top of your head. It gives you
okay.
prompts. So it'll ask you like, what are your four top favorite colors, books, quotes, people, places, things, foods, all of these things. It's 25 pages long of things that
Oh
you're
my
going
goodness.
to
Okay.
fill in. And the idea is that as you fill in your bliss list, you'll start to get an idea of your personal algorithm. So, you will see
Hmm.
trends. There will be trends through all of your answers that help you to get a better idea of what's important to you. Um, and that is something that you can use to help you figure out how to make content, but not only how to make content, but how to stylize your content so that it's specific to you. And I'm going to give you an example. My cousin is she used to ref for the WNBA, but she's starting to like pull out of that career and take up a new career where she's a DJ. And so she likes to make content, but her DJ videos weren't really taking off. And so I was like, all right, well, come over, let's do a bliss list. And we sat down and we completed this bliss list together. And I discovered looking at it that it's not just the music that she likes, but she likes beautiful places. She loves traveling. And she also is really into like she's really stylish. Like she's really into her clothing choices. And so I was like, all right, well, why don't we? And I'm sorry, the last thing is that she loves Baltimore. We live in Baltimore City. She reps really hard for Baltimore, so much so that she has a tattoo of like 410, our area code. Very
Okay.
much a Baltimore girl. And so I was like, all right, well, why don't we try to incorporate more things from your Bliss list than just DJing so that it can
Mhm.
become like this authentic piece of work that's just very specific to who you really are. And so
Love that.
we went out, I just found it, so I'll put it in the chat box. We went out one evening to this place where you can see the whole Baltimore City skyline. And
Hmm.
she wore a clothing brand head to toe the same, I think it's Nike. That way,
Okay.
if Nike picked up on the video, she could potentially get a brand deal off of that. Like it's just setting her up for that
Oh,
possibility.
okay. Okay.
And then she like mixed two songs together. Actually, she was just pretending. We just dubbed it in later. But
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
it's a video that's just so much more true to who she is. And let me pop it in here for you all to see.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, glow, slappy rap, is to make it bail. Yeah, glow, two-tone Cartier match the nails. Yeah, glow, no competition, it's stale. Yeah, glow, curbing, no curbing, my layers. Yeah, glow, say they get money, but I can't tell. Yeah, glow, keep running circles around these snail. Yeah, glow, and my pumping up in the jail. Oh, yeah, glow.
So very simple, very short, but you got like the Baltimore skyline. It's just very her.
Mm-hmm.
We got to talk about gimbals later too, because I recorded this for her using a gimbal, but we'll get to that
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wasn't overproduced. It was
later.
just a day and it wasn't raining, which is good.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Okay, and so you were able to capture cool angles using what's it called?
A
Uh,
gimbal, but
a
we'll get
gimbal.
to that later.
Okay. So my next question, are you ready? All
Absolutely.
right. Oh, this is serious. A lot of people feel anxious or awkward on camera. What are some ways to relax and feel more natural while recording?
Okay, so there's a few that I have for you.
It's me. I feel uncomfortable.
One of my top tips is to speak from your butt. Speak from your ass. And I really mean that. I mean, think for a minute. Think about your energy. Imagine, like, take some deep breaths and just imagine your energy is rooted, grounded in your butt, and speak from that place. It automatically makes you sound more confident. It makes you appear more confident. And it's also just easier to talk because really it's not your butt, it's your root. You're speaking from your roots. There are other ways to speak. Like I find that when I make videos, I very naturally speak from my head. When you speak from your head, which is like what I'm doing now, I tend to stumble over my words a lot more. I'm a little bit more scattered because it's almost like, as neurodivergents, we tend to live in our heads. But the trick is to get embodied. If you can be embodied when you're recording, you'll feel more confident. But it's not just the
Mhm.
butt. There are times where you can speak through your belly, and there are times when you can speak from your heart. And you can actually hear the difference. Like your voice will go up a little bit higher. It changes the energy of what you're saying, and people can feel it. But if you're looking to just automatically be more confident, start with the booty. Speak from the booty.
Okay.
Now, as I
Oh
said,
my gosh, that's hilarious to me. The fart jokes are running, but I will refrain from saying them.
yes, this is not the same as talking out of your ass too. We should say
Okay.
different.
Right.
Um, In the comments when I shared this on Instagram, this woman mentioned that she is a vocal coach, I think she said, and she said that she often tells people to speak from the feet. So you could also try that if that makes more sense to your brain. That actually makes, I like it, but it weirdly makes less sense to my brain. Because I'm like,
Mhm.
how does my voice go all the way down to my feet? But it might work. I might need to practice that. Just see.
Yeah, it sounds like the point is to the best of our ability, be embodied, get in our body, be grounded. And some people like didn't learn that till later in life. Like I was like, yay, the body keeps the score. That makes sense, but where? You
Yeah.
know? And then I realized I was kind of like a brain in a jar, like or like my head is a balloon floating around and I never was comfortable in my body. So that
Yeah.
can be a whole learning curve.
100%. It does take time. And but again, that's the beauty of being new at content creation is like it's actually a gift that you don't have an audience because now you can do all the fucking up you want. No one's going to see it. It's just for you to learn. It's a beautiful reason to not care about big numbers in the early days. You just try stuff.
Okay, right? Like if you get no views, that means nobody saw it. That's the upside.
No pressure.
So
Just
you
do.
get to just I heard you're supposed to hide it and not delete. That's
Oh,
what I heard because the algorithm doesn't like it when you delete stuff.
oh yeah.
Make it private or something.
100. If you really hate your video, don't delete it, private it. I agree with that. But I also
Private it.
encourage you to just let it be because you never know, even if something doesn't take off immediately. Like I saw a girl, for instance, who said she made this little video in like 2019, and
Mhm.
then this year, for whatever reason, it went super viral and has like 7 million likes. So, and it's like just this weird little her dubbing to an Eminem song. So you just never know. So that's one way. Another way to get more comfortable on camera is I say something on camera that I will later edit out so nobody knows that I've said it. There's a scene from Family Guy where Peter Griffin goes to New Orleans because he wants to meet the Colonel. So he goes to KFC to meet the Colonel, which is
Oh
ridiculous.
Lord. Yeah, yeah.
The guy behind the counter says, "What wrong with you? I say you he dead." So now,
Okay.
whenever I record a video, before I get into the topic, I say while recording, "What wrong with you? I say you he dead." And then I just start talking and then I point it out later because it's disarming. It makes me feel like lighter. It's kind of funny. It really
Right.
helps. It helps me to
It's
relax.
like a little piece of palilalia that you like to get yourself a little vocal stim for you now that you memorized it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Okay.
Something else that I've done is because, sometimes I get very frustrated because even after all this time, I actually still have days where I feel unconfident or I can't get my words out. And so sometimes I press record and I just like start yelling about shit. Just whatever I'm feeling like, why can't I say the thing? I want to be able to say the thing. What is the fear stopping me? It's almost like when you do a stream of consciousness journaling, but I do a stream of consciousness recording and I just get it all out of me. And then I
Mhm.
record after that.
So do you record it and then cut it out later, or do
Oh yeah,
you start?
nobody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the one last thing is just to make sure your stomach is relaxed. Growing up, I used to read all these like beauty magazines, and I learned at an early age, very sadly, that women should always suck their stomachs in to look thin. Always, always. But you don't realize
Mm.
what you lose when you constantly suck your stomach in. It puts you in a constant state of tension, um,
Yeah.
and you shrink. Like you were literally and figuratively shrinking. So just make sure before you record let your stomach out. Just let it relax. I find very often when I record, I automatically go inward. I get tense like this, and
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
adds to nervousness. So yeah, relax your belly.
So
That's
funny.
all that's it.
That is so true.
Oh,
Hold yourself in. Hold yourself in. Don't take up too much space.
yeah, it's
The
trash.
smaller, the better.
And I actually do have one other tip. I made whole notes and I forgot to write this one down. But the
Mhm.
last thing that I recommend is just just be allow yourself to look silly. That's it. Sometimes, like the thing, or in the early days, the thing that would stop me from recording was a fear of looking stupid. But then I just decided that I would be okay with looking stupid, and it changed everything. Just that simple decision. It's okay if I look stupid. You probably won't. You know what I'm saying? But it's the fear.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
the idea that instead of pushing the fear away, you're now holding hands with the fear and walking with it. Like, it's okay that you're here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do this anyway.
Mhm. It's like climbing cringe mountain.
On that cringe mountain. Yes, exactly.
So just work through the cringe. And you know, it's funny because like we don't really see ourselves the way other people do. So even if I look at it and I think it's stupid, somebody else might be like, that's exactly the brand of stupid I was looking for.
100%. And also, I have news for you. Like, I don't know about other people, but for me, the nervousness, the worry about how it's going to come off, the worry if you said something wrong, like, I don't know if it goes away. I still feel like that. So I just have to decide to befriend it and understand that
Mm-hmm.
it's like a feeling that's trying to protect me from something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for being here, feeling, but I'm gonna go ahead and press record, even if that means looking stupid.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
out
yeah.
of my post.
Yeah. How can creators stay motivated and confident when their videos don't get any views or many don't get many views?
So
Seriously, it's like after all that and you put it out and then nobody even wants to watch it.
oh no, that's the
Wah.
worst. It is the worst. First off, I would recommend starting off right away, right with a saying, like little affirmation that you can say to yourself when you look at your video and feel disappointed at the views. Because that's another thing that really never goes away. Like,
Mm,
unfortunately. In fact, it might get worse with time because if you become kind of accustomed to getting a lot of views and then
right,
you have a video
right.
that tanks, that could be a little sad. So go ahead and write yourself
Mm,
an affirmation today that you can say so that you can reframe it in a more positive way. That's going to make it easier for you to keep going. Mine is I'm proud of myself for continuing to post, even though I can't control the outcome, which is really
mhm,
uncomfortable for me. Um,
mm,
a nice alternative, I'm proud of myself for taking a chance on myself, no matter what the algorithm thinks about it. Because
mhm.
I found myself saying, like, like, what was the point of this? I spent so much time on this and nobody cares. Or worse, I guess it wasn't good. It doesn't mean it's not good if the algorithm doesn't pick it up. It could be not picked up for any number of reasons. There could be a glitch in the algorithm. It could be as simple as that. Don't have any self-doubt about it. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately, and keep going.
Right. And a lot of times it is the algorithm. People would love to see it, but they're not being shown it. That's the part that drives me a little bit on the nuts side.
It's kind of fucked. And something else I noticed is that have you ever actually just like taken some time to watch mega viral videos and noticed some of them
They
are not
suck.
actually that good, but
Yeah.
it's the psychology behind it already has a lot of likes. Think about it. How many times have you liked a video before watching it fully just because it already has a lot of likes? I think there's a psychology there that,
Hmm.
it kind of like messes up the truth of what's good. So it can help you to one, notice that sometimes a really mega viral video is like completely uninteresting, but also to spend some time looking at other people's content who have low views to notice that it's actually really good.
Right. And then if the algorithm is suddenly starting to show things that you made in 2018, like you never know.
You
So,
never know. It's so true. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So that's one. And then the big one, and this circles back to what we said before, make sure you're identifying your blisses and making content for yourself. Make it for you first. Then, even if nobody else watches it, you're going to be your biggest fan. Like, I have some videos that aren't that popular, and I've watched them about 3,000 times because I made them for me. And they make me feel good to look at. I think at the end of the day, as long as you're making them for you, then it doesn't really matter if like your video doesn't take off, but I also promise that if you continue to make really deeply authentic content that is like all, it's just got you written all over it, from the color palette to the music to the this and the that, you will find your people. It might take some time. On TikTok, I went from 17,000 followers to 100,000 followers, like just in the past year or like the past 7 months. But I've had a
Dang.
TikTok for like 3 or 4 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so you just never know. Like it takes time.
Yeah, there's part of me that's like scared of blowing up like that too. It's kind of like I would rather have my little 2 or 3 thousand and only 200 are watching.
Yeah,
Because the idea of like, I guess you would gear up for it, right?
100%. And that's another thing. Like you do want to consider the psychology of being viral and having a big account. I notice, and this is the manifestation part of it, but I, every time I've grown, it's because I have said to the universe, all right, I feel like I'm truly ready to grow. Because there is a
Okay.
downside to having a large audience too. Like there's the fear
Mm-hmm.
of being canceled. There's an increase in stupid stupid ass comments, you know?
Oh my
And
God, yes.
we'd love to believe that those comments are not going to affect us, but like if you are emotionally attuned, they just might, you know? Like if you're not lying to yourself, they just might. And so it becomes about
Absolutely.
learning like true coping mechanisms for how to handle that before you get to a point where it's so like people have, you know, gone into deep depressions over comments. So you be glad that you grow slowly because it will help you to figure out how to deal with these like bigger platform problems as you grow.
You kind of answered it, but I'm just going to ask this question anyway. Why is it important to make content that you personally enjoy watching instead of just chasing trends or algorithms?
I think you'll find more longevity in doing it this way. You know, if you're just making the content that feels good to make, then you're having fun and you want to keep having fun. If you're trying to like chase the algorithm and numbers, that is exhausting and it's not fun. It's just that's it. Fun versus not fun. It's more sustainable because it's fun when you're
Yeah,
enjoying.
hop on this trend, hop on that trend, and then everyone's making a fool out of themselves about group 7 or whatever. Oh my
I
gosh.
know this group 7 stuff. I love us, but you know,
I mean, everyone's in group 7, so yay, let's celebrate that, but come on. I mean,
yeah.
I think it was an algorithm thing, isn't it? Like she posted 7 videos in the same day. The algorithm finally took her seriously that she wanted to be pushed out. So 7 it is. And then
Yes.
I got 7. I got 7. Group 7.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I feel like the people who have latched on to Group 7 are just the lifelong searchers. You know what I mean? Like the ones who maybe
Yeah.
felt like misfits, and so they came together, and they feel like they have community. Like I get it too. I understand, but
I mean, I'm in group 7. God damn
yeah,
it. You know.
yeah, you know, it's like all the neurodivergents and the aliens are Group 7.
All right.
Yeah,
That's so funny. Okay. So yeah, make it fun. Make what you want to watch.
yeah, absolutely. By the way, I noticed a couple questions appear in the chat box, and we
Yes.
be answering your
Should I
question.
read them? Let me read them.
Oh, sure.
This question. What if you are really not connecting to your body yet? Or this doesn't really make sense to my brain.
Oh, do you mean the talk from your butt?
I
Yes, the
I
talk from your
think so.
butt or your belly. Like when you use therapy
Mhm.
words, sometimes people haven't been to therapy or they be like, feel into your body. And it's like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know what that means. So it's like until you practice it or had a conversation with somebody to really understand it, you really wouldn't get it. So I still don't really understand. I might be doing it, but I just don't understand what that means or how it feels.
I understand what you're saying. Okay.
Such a
Yeah.
good question.
Yes,
Yeah.
great question. I think that this is a good time to lean on some of the other tools in Practical Magic. If you're here, then you have access to all of those tools. Practical Magic for Neurodivergence, at the core, it is regulating rituals to help you stay regulated, learn how to get regulated, and that kind of thing. So there is a group of practices called the Elevator Lobby that is like all of these different rituals and practices you can use to get more embodied, to feel better more often, and things like that. And one of them, which is my absolute favorite, is called Face Difficult Emotions. And what it is a body scan. And this is the one thing I did to really get into my body more often and make every other embodied practice a lot easier. I'll put it in the chat box. It is literally, it's just an audio you're going to listen to. It's about 8 minutes long, and it's going to ask you to just think of something that's been bothering you lately, and then just start naming all the things you feel in your body and where you feel them. And if you had to give it a shape, what shape would it be? If you had to give it a color, what color would it be? And this is going to feel real stupid the first time you try it. It will feel silly, but it will get easier with time. And then eventually you won't need the audio at all. You'll just learn to get better at it. And then it will be much easier to understand what speak from your butt means because,
Okay.
yeah, you'll be able to recognize
Mhm.
where sensations live in your
Yeah.
body.
And I have started to feel it, but I didn't know that meant in your body. Like when I'm nervous, I can feel my throat burning or I feel like
That's
a
it.
big lump. So it's like feeling sensations in your body, but how do you feel something? How do you you try to make a YouTube video and then you start boo-booing on yourself because you're trying to feel it in my body. Like
I
she's
forgot about
scared
that.
too.
We are so literal sometimes. I'm telling you. That's why I was like, I almost started with the fart jokes. Like, you know what struck me was what helped me was when you said breathe in your belly. The minute you said let go of your belly, stop holding it in, I noticed that I was like, oh dang, I am. And then I immediately yawned.
Oh
And a
yeah.
yawn or a belch or a tummy growl is like an indicator that we're switching into our rest and digest out of a fight or flight. So I'm like, okay, those are body cues. Like, can we just start paying attention? I think a lot of us just did whatever we could to try not to have a body. And so it's a new skill for a lot of people to even like, oh, that thing, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah. And I wish
Mhm.
I had asked you first, actually, because Dr. Catherine, I would love your full answer on this too.
Good.
What are ways that people can get more embodied?
I think your audio is super good. I think maybe it would be a good idea if we decide to do it together, practice together and discuss, you know what I mean? At some point, maybe we can go through some of these like this. But I think, okay, so a lot of it is feel your feet on the floor. Notice gravity holding you in your chair. Can you feel your sit bones in the chair? Can you even them out? Is there any efforting that you're doing to hold yourself on this planet? Could you allow gravity to hold you? That sort of thing. And then, yeah, just lots and lots of different practices, mostly about noticing, trying not to judge. A lot of times you end up with like, oh my goodness, apparently I've been holding my pee for 8 hours. Let me go take care of that. It's kind of a paradox because it's way easier than you think. Um, but then to start seems really impossible. Yeah, it's nervous system regulation is where it's at. Learning about your nervous system and to listen. We end up like masking is all about like making ourselves acceptable to others, and we lose the connection to ourselves because a lot of times we've been conditioned that when we're experiencing delight and joy, it's annoying to other people. And it's like, now at this point at my big age, I'm like, I'm gonna frolic, if only out of spite. You cannot take, so it's like if rocking makes me feel, delight, I need to reconnect to that. And that's, a lot of it is embodied. It's about like, oh, learned to stop paying attention to my body because I would do this and people didn't like it when I would do this, shaking my shoulders and wiggling in my seat. So yeah, it's befriending your body, befriending your nervous system, and then that becomes a safe place for us, hopefully. Joy has a comment. Can I read your comment, Joy? Okay. I think the way I'll apply speak from your butt is to focus on how my butt feels, especially if I'm sitting. I can feel the pressure of my butt against the seat and how stabilizing that is. Yes, how stabilizing that is. So it's like those two sit bones. Can you notice them? Can you wiggle around until it feels balanced?
I'm doing that now and I like it. My voice goes deeper. See, like even in my first years of content, I always talk like this. I always have, but I can tell I'm in my butt when my voice is like short and low. My pitch goes deeper. Thank you for that, Joy. Yeah.
There's a response to this, which I love. It says, why the minute you said that, I realized I was clenching my butt cheeks. I unclenched them immediately. Oh, I unclenched them and then immediately yawned.
Oh,
Absolutely,
wow.
that's right. Our nervous system like responds to our body and vice versa. So it's like if I'm holding some kind of efforting to like be on this planet, maybe I can trust gravity for 4 seconds. And
Mm,
then sometimes you do notice a shift, things like yawning, needing to stretch. That's our body kind of coming out of fight or flight and back into the rest and digest. So like if you see how animals after they've been chased, then when it's over, they shake it off.
oh, that's true.
And we're animals, so we should get in touch with our animal body. Okay, here's one. Try the opposite ish to feel the root. I take a few deep breaths, then Kegel. Feel like breathing in front of both ends. Feel like breathing in from both ends. It's almost instant embodiment with the tension everywhere. Oh, without the tension everywhere.
Mm.
So instead of like bearing down and boo-booing on ourselves, To feel the root, we can take a few deep breaths. And then Kegels.
I'm totally
Kegels. You know what this reminds me of? I don't know if anyone has taken yoga, but they have this thing called Mula Bandha. So when you're trying to do like a warrior pose or something, they call them bandhas. There's like a spot. It's on the perineum. And one person described it, it's between the meat and the vegetables. Like it's that spot between where your Kegels and where your boo-boo in. Like if you can feel that, you know, it's almost like a lock. You lock it and then take a breath. That would be like how I interpret what you said,
No,
right?
that's good between the meat and the vegetables. I used to call that the trundle.
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 That makes sense. The trundle from down under. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
okay. So yeah, this is somebody, Brittney-Elizabeth said, is anyone else currently doing Kegels? And a bunch of people said yes. So funny.
Hard to
They're
resist.
good for us. We should always do them.
Good for that pelvic floor.
Do you, shall we continue or do you wanna like, think
I
about splitting it up and having a part 2?
I think it's worth maybe doing a part 2. And just so you all know what it would cover, I want to kind of go over some lighting tips that would help you to light your videos for free or on the cheap, some camera gear that I consider essential, and some really, what is the word I'm looking for? Oh, let me get in my butt. Hold on, please. Non-traditional camera gear that I use all the time. And it would also just, basically just a bunch of links to different things that you could check out. And then recording in your car and some tips for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, yeah, there's a lot
Well, and
more.
then there's the editing we could have part 3, we could have part 4, we could
Yeah,
have part embodiment.
100%. To get lengthy. So I like the idea of making this at least one other part. And I hate to do that to you because when I'm watching a TikTok video that's a story time and I get really into it and they're like, oh, follow for part 2, then I get pissed off. And just out of spite, I don't go to part 2. But
Oh, you PDA are you? Look at that.
very much
That is so funny. I'm like, I can't wait to get to 10,000 followers because then I can make playlists, and I love playlists. Like if somebody has it on a playlist, I can just let it play and, fall asleep, listen more later. Like that's what I like. But when you have to go search for part 2, that is no.
That's funny. I'm realizing just how much I experienced PDA. I was talking to CJ about this earlier. CJ is my girlfriend. Also, it is her birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Um, so I was saying earlier how and she hates this, and I'm really sorry, babe, but I like to do this thing that I call reward peas, where like when I'm shooting during the day, I might have like 3 or 4 photo shoots, and I don't like to take breaks because the faster I can do them, the faster I go home. I have this whole logic in my brain, like, time is money, and if I just rush through it, then I'm, whatever, I made more money in less time. But
Okay.
sometimes like I have to pee really bad, but I'll be like, I'm not gonna pee until I finish this whole house, and it has to be done really well. And I'm just coming to realize how even that is a form of PDA. Because if I have to pee, why am I not just peeing?
Yeah, internal PDA, right?
Like,
PDA. Wah. Okay, but I get it. And speaking of Kegels, you'd be holding it, you know? That is so funny. Reward peas. We come up with some stuff. That is so funny. Maybe peeing is its own reward.
thank you all so much for being here. I'm gonna press stop recording, but I'm cool to hang out and talk a little bit more, especially 'cause